Hey guys, it's me again finally. So I hope that you guys enjoyed previous talk with Christina and Isabella. And now we have somebody really special. This is our first team member that ever talked for Sellers Alley in live stream, and that's also because this is the first live stream ever that we're having. So can you please introduce yourself?
Right. Hello, everybody. I'm Stevan, and I'm here for Battle of Giants.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Google Ads. We're going to talk about Amazon and why you should do both stuff together. So basically, maybe Stevan can tell us a bit more about himself, what kind of stuff he knows. I can tell you this. I really wanted to have Stella in our team for a long time. We talked for more than a year, and I really wanted to have him in the team, and finally at some point when we made the deal and this both decided to work together, I found it to be a huge win. So Stella is a big expert when it comes to Google Ads. So our clients that are having Google Ads with us, or well, at least some of them are working with Stella. So before we even talk about Google and Amazon, Stella, how are you holding with stream?
Yeah, really great, really great. I mean, this is amazing 2-day event because it's totally different than some everyday work job. Doing the optimizations and stuff on Amazon. So I'm so happy that I'm seeing that our accounts are really great and the sales are so accelerated and everything is great. So this is really great experience. I mean, I'm in Google Ads and Google Analytics for several years, but from few months ago, I started with Amazon, and I really considered that the Amazon is really something special. I mean, Amazon PPC and the Amazon platform is something where you really can provide some great results. These events like Prime Day and Black Friday are really important, and our marathon for these 2 days are so nuts. I mean, there's a lot of fun and there's a lot of important tasks that we have to finish, and I believe that everyone will be satisfied with the results. If you're speaking about our cooperation, I mean, I cannot, I simply can't explain our experience from last year, and
yeah, I think it's absolutely crazy. When I talk to clients and when I talk to other agencies and how they work and what's the team spirit and everything. I'm not pushing you, and you're not paid to talk about that, but it's definitely one of the strangest experiences that you can get. We have people that are working for 8 hours, and after that they decide to stay in the office, and do different stuff. We have table tennis or darts, or we have video games, and they're just sitting here.
I mean, I work for different companies, and the Sellers Alley is something totally different. Why? Because I think that the people here are simply bonded. We are here like some kind of family, strange family, definitely. But I cannot explain this because every small talk, every single joke or something like that,
probably dirty joke,
every activity, just to have a meal with those people here is really great. I mean, I have never seen so many people with great knowledge experience and efforts that they give to learn more, to try new things, to test new type of I don't know, campaigns or strategies or anything else in one place. And that is something that attracted me really so much. Yeah.
So basically, at this point, like I think, like I didn't pay more, like for you to like glorify the company and everything. So give me just a second. I'm still Yana here. Yana likes doing it. Hey, it's not a problem. So that's me again. Oh,
Yeah.
Maybe we can do it like. Let's add you as well. Yes. So at this point, like, let's talk about other stuff. Like, let's talk about Google Ads. Like, everybody in Amazon field is like, that is really good with Amazon. Like, that is 6, 7, 8-figure seller. Like, they know how to do Amazon. Like, they fully understand whole concept, how it works. But when they try to like diversify, when they try to create some different channels, for example, to use Shopify to create their own websites and like to sell on different platforms, they usually fail. And like up to 10 for most of the sellers that I worked personally in the past, like the Amazon sales are like 90% of their sales, and only 10% are coming from like websites and so on. And like, is it like because of Google? Like, what's with Google ads comparing to Amazon ads?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we should start with the customer.
Okay.
At first place, why? Because we cannot exclude, TV or billboards or anything else that the simple customer can see every day and in every moment. So I think that we should start with the user intent, and I think that's the something where we can start our strategy in picking up which concepts to use. Simply which channels we should develop. Okay, Amazon is something great because user who is opening the Amazon app and searching for some product, he's really into to buy something. And that's so exact, and you can have some clicks that are not selling, but the conversion rate is so high. And what users are doing on different networks like social media or Google is more like doing research at first touch point, and then comparing different products, and then reading some reviews, and then thinking about it, and then the days are goes by, like after 30 days you get a conversion from one single user. So it is a large network where you can push your ads, but it is really important how you're optimizing your campaigns and how you can find the exact customer that will go to purchase your product.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree more. Like, when you go to Amazon, especially in the previous years, like everybody on Amazon had buying intentions, and like on the other hand, when you're on Google, you don't have the same intentions.
Oh.
And like, but there is something that is happening like in the recent like months. I read some analysis somewhere that people are starting to use Amazon as a search engine, which is like really interesting thing to see. That's how big they are becoming. like instead of just having people to buy stuff, people are searching for the stuff now for a change, but still they have buying intention. And like on Google, they don't have that.
Yeah.
Like you need to provide different kind of stuff, like because it's a different funnel. Like one of the things that Amazon sellers are used to is last click conversion. Last click conversion is a really important thing because like there is a full way of activities that the customer is doing before they buy, and like the last click that happened before the purchase is the one that counts.
Yeah.
On the other hand, like when it comes to attribution, when it comes to Google and so on, like there are other clicks. There are other clicks that people are usually skipping, and like especially in a manner when you have people that don't have that high buying intentions. So like you first start to like create desire for something. Like you like imagine like, do I need a car? Like start the first search with like, do I need a car? And you go from there and like, okay, I'm aware that I would like to have a car.
Yeah,
like
that's right.
Like what kind of car do I want? Like do I want like estate? Do I want convertible? Do I want like hatchback or something else? And like you decide that you want to have a hatchback. Like that's the car for you. And like, okay, what hatchbacks are on the market? Like which brands are making hatchbacks? And like you realize that like, I don't know, you want to buy a Volvo. Let's say that you're a Volvo person, like, and you didn't even know that. So like now you already know like that you want to have Volvo and you have a specific model that you want to buy. After that, you search like who is the dealer for it, and like, and then like at somewhere around that point you have buying intentions maybe. Yeah. And even then it's like still research, like you're comparing prices and so on. Like just like to make a comparison, like what are the main differences when it comes to Google and Amazon when it comes to ad types and like targeting options? Like what's the biggest thing that you saw like that is a huge difference there?
Well, I have to admit that Google platform is much more
sophisticated.
Yeah, definitely, and it's really exciting to create campaigns because you're starting from the website, and the website is something that is really challenging for you, and strategies could be really different in a way which result you want to achieve. So you can make a large mixture of audiences, keyword targetings by affinity or I don't know, previous search terms related to some products. So we have a large number of options in advanced level that you can use in creating just one campaign and targeting just search network. And it's really great to have it because you can narrow the audience and you can narrow the funnel to the result that you want to achieve. But what is important is that Google is really large, and the Google ad inventory is really large and spread all over the websites, YouTube.
Yeah, people don't
TV.
even think about that part.
Yeah, no.
Like everybody, like when people think about Google ads, they think about the ads that show on Google search result page.
Yeah.
But there is way more than that when it comes to Google.
Yeah. So, you have a really large number of options and types of campaigns that you can create because Google spread the inventory, gave us options for audience targetings and demographics, locations and stuff, and we can use it at once, and we can create funnels for users who are only in consideration phase, and then retarget them with search campaigns to give more value for those users who are really interested in buying something not just target them because they search for it. So what was the point for this topic?
Well, the point is like to see like what's the difference when
Difference.
ad types and like why is it the different beasts? Like one of the things that like for me personally is like you can refine so much on Google,
Definitely.
way more than you can do it on Amazon.
Way more, yeah.
And like even though Amazon is like becoming more and more sophisticated like month over month, and like each month is becoming like they're introducing new stuff, like you're getting new buttons, you're getting new options, but still like you're able to create like shopping campaigns, you're able to create search campaigns, video campaigns, display campaigns, and so many more different stuff. And like just for search campaigns, which is basically something like sponsor product campaigns on Amazon, like
That's
you
right.
have way more options. You're able to refine by device. You can refine by like location. Like you don't need to target US fully. Look, you can diversify by like taking US and like splitting to states. And then splitting to cities, towns, districts, or like whatever you wish.
Postal codes.
Yeah, literally postal codes, and like you can decide like you know what, like there is one good trick. Like I know that this sound maybe politically incorrect, and that's the topic that like subject that you shouldn't touch, but like I worked with a guy once that tried to target like specific group of people in the US with his products, and he was like, I'm targeting all of the zip codes that have Whole Foods in them. And I'm like, why are you targeting like Whole Foods zip codes? And he was like, because like Whole Foods is always like in a richer area of the city. Like, yeah, imagine that. Like, that's absolutely crazy idea.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's really bad thing to say. I'm like, I know, but it's working. And I'm like, okay, you're making sales. So, okay. So on the other hand, like when you target on Amazon, you don't choose country. Basically, you cannot choose the state. You cannot choose the device. You don't have like option to schedule your ad. You don't have an option of like having your ads live at certain times during the day.
Yeah,
You don't have day parting at all, which is like pretty good thing when it comes to Google. Like you can deep dive there a lot. And like above everything, you're able to do retargeting, and that's something that you would cover with DSP, basically on the Amazon side.
That's right. If we want to compare the Google and Amazon, I think that we have to include the DSP from this year. So the DSP is really advanced and really gave us a large number of options. Okay, it is a display. You can set up the image banners or video ads, but the targeting options are so advanced, and we can compare it with Google's DV360. Definitely, the audiences are so segmented, and you can create a large number of options. You can retarget the users who visited your site or visited the product page in Amazon. So you simply have to consider the DSP as a large competitor to Google Display. But I think that if you want something simplified, like okay, I will use Google and I will target search display and video ads and Gmail ads within one account with one budget, then the Google is something that is really, really great, because you can segment the users, you can target really narrow and control the budget for each targeted segment. So I think that Amazon and Google are trying to achieve something that the other ones didn't achieve. Like Amazon is trying to develop the platform to create the place where you're gonna spend some time in researching, in reading something. Yeah. And Google is now developing Amazon inside. So
Yeah, that's correct. They're trying to improve their shopping experience.
yeah, definitely. So the product listings are really advanced now, and I think that it will be a really great in the future, because they're trying to pull out some merchant centers and create some specific part of the platform where you can really enjoy, like in Amazon. So the competition will be really strong, and I think that we will have simply the options like okay, I have it in Amazon, I have it in Google, and we will play them both, and then we will calculate what the results are and what is the cheaper, simply because we just want to increase our return in ad spend. So I think that will be the logic behind this.
So, do you think like advertising on Google is more expensive or cheaper comparing to Amazon?
Definitely, depending on the product or service.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, where you have a large number of competitors, or if you're talking about the Google search network, a large competition is really increasing the bids. So sometimes you have to pay, I don't know, $10 per click, but in Amazon you could create that click in, I don't know, half than 50 cents, like. So it's really depending on competition, on targeting. Sometimes the narrow targeting is increasing your bid, because
because you're shooting like straight to the point.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I remember like when I did a lot of Google ads in the past. I saw like I used to work for a company that's like one of the biggest e-commerces in Denmark, and like we were selling more or less everything. So our biggest competitor on in the country was Amazon. Like when you go to see like who are you competing with on Google, you see like that you're sharing like percentage of like visibility with Amazon. So basically Amazon is investing a lot of money in advertising on Google. That's the funny part. Yeah. Like 3 years ago they even signed, like it wasn't like really loud thing. You couldn't read it on like a lot of places, but they signed some kind of like a deal. So Amazon would show up like on shopping ads more frequently, and on the other hand, Google got some small search ads like with I don't know, like one sentence headline inside of Amazon, and that's the funny part. I didn't see those ads for a long time now, but at some point there were ads from Google showing on Amazon, and like for that kind of stuff, like you couldn't target, like cross target each other, especially like Amazon when they do advertising on Google, like you cannot do anything about that. Like what people would usually do a couple of years ago, like they would especially for Prime Day, that's a good example, they would like create a lot of like external traffic and send that traffic to Amazon, because they would know that Amazon would do a lot of retargeting during Prime Day and after Prime Day and before Prime, like in these periods, or like during the holiday season, they would basically invest a lot of money to bring people and bring customers back to Amazon. And at this point, I feel like that they're like stepping back a bit and letting sellers spend their own money instead of Amazon spending that kind of money.
That's right. Yeah. But if we now compare those times and now, with DSP we can target the double-click ad inventory, which is now Google's.
Okay.
So
Can you tell us like what's that? Like imagine that like I have no idea what you're talking about.
it's
What's double click? Is it like a platform or?
Yeah, DoubleClick is the platform that Google now owns. Acquired. Yeah. So DV360 platform is using the DoubleClick ad inventory, which is the display ad inventory. So every Google display and DV360 and now the Amazon are using the same ad slots in the websites or apps or in YouTube. So you simply have that cooperation between all of them because the advertisers are investing a large amount of money and they simply just sharing everything. So I think that the most important thing here is to start with some strategy. I mean, okay, we can say that Amazon is a great because you're targeting users who are ready to purchase something and you want to be first to capture that click and make them purchase. Instead of Google, you can really have a large miss in conversions there. But if we include them both, then we must think about how to build the brand, how to build awareness about the products, and maybe increase the visibility and increase the influence from your brand to customers. So I think that it's not important to sell once, and with large brand awareness over the Google, YouTube, and the stuff, you can really build up your brand and be recognized in a larger time period. So
like we didn't talk about this topic. Like we just like talk in a manner like they want to talk during like our 48-hour stream, and you said yes. I was so happy about that, and like we started talking about that, and you mentioned now literally the same thing that like 5 people during this stream mentioned, like building a brand.
Yeah.
And like it's so important to understand that like building a brand is something like if you want to be a seller, like what do you want to sell? Like you want to sell some private label, that private label should become a brand, because if you're not doing it that way, you're not going to exist in 10 years. Like your business is not going to exist in 10 years. Like you're probably going to try some shady stuff to increase your sales rapidly in a short period of time, and you're probably going to be gone because like Amazon would suspend you, and like Amazon algorithm learns a lot of stuff, and Amazon people like are becoming way better when it comes to recognizing all of the malversations on Amazon. On the other hand, I know that Google has one, like probably the most sophisticated algorithm out there. Definitely. And like they have like so many versions of everything, like what you can do and what you cannot do and so on.
That's right. The ad policy is really, it's impossible to make a fraud, and it's really how to say it?
What do you want to say?
Complicated. I mean, you cannot do everything. You have to watch out. Like if you're using brands, to have all the important contracts signed with Google about it, and it's really sophisticated, as you mentioned. So I think that as you mentioned, it is important to build up the brand, because if you're only focused on short term, okay, then buy some stock of products and sell it, and you will earn the money, definitely. But if you build up the brand, you will definitely have a long-term business will be really stable later. And from that point, we're recommending using different channels. I mean, to build up the brand, you have to start with website, brand store. You have to optimize all the contents. You have to invest in content marketing to explain the importance of what your product is related to.
And this is not even starting like to talk about the product and the packaging and stuff like that. It's just like external stuff that are going to happen and that need to happen.
Definitely, yeah. And when you start investing in different channels, you will be able to ensure the presence of your brand, and the users would simply have the opportunity to find your brand on the social media, on the search when they're searching something similar, not just the product. So because we can target the audience with search ads and show up our ad. So it's really important to include everything and then measure only where to invest more. And that is something that will simplify the whole story about how to start.
Yeah, definitely. Like today we had Marcel talking with us, and he was talking about micro influencers. And yesterday we had Troy. He mentioned nano influencers, which is probably like even smaller thing. So their basic idea that it wasn't Troy. It was Norm. Maybe I don't know. Somebody talked about it. Sorry about that, guys. It's like one day and 15 hours of me talking here, so I'm a bit tired. So the idea is basically to reach out to small and like micro influencers that are having like a couple of thousand followers, and like giving them free samples or giving them free units or giving them some money to talk about your product, to post your product, and like to create a network of those small influencers, like not to have like one or two, but like to have a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, so how do you measure that? Like, how do you measure, like, where is the success there? And it's like the moment when you see that people are using your hashtag, but you didn't interfere in that, like you didn't pay anybody to do that, like you're probably on the right way. And like that's the thing with building a brand. Like I remember like back in the days I used to work as a marketing manager in one company that did like out of home marketing a lot and other types of marketing, and I did a lot of different types of marketing, and like I didn't know anything about PPC. And like when we would do like billboards or radio or TV commercials, I remember we did like for the first OLED TVs, like curved TVs with like we had like really big budget to show up on national TV. And like you know what happened after like the commercial showed on TV? I had no idea if we sold anything. Literally, we spent so much money, and like commercial was really good. Like it was like high end and really, really good. But like at the end of the day, I wouldn't know if it was like the brand that was selling, or was it the TV commercial, or was it or the billboards or anything, or is it like combination of them? That all. And like at one point, like I realized like with PPC, like you have instant answers. Like I can tell you whatever story you want to hear, but like when you go and like when you see Excel spreadsheet, or like when you see the interface and you see the number, like that's it. Like that's going to tell you way more than.
That's right.
Yeah.
Especially the Google ads. I really like when I have some strong branding campaign with search campaign along. So if you start with, I don't know, display campaign that is targeting broad audience, and after a few days you're recognizing some clicks in the search brand campaign, related just to your brand and capturing large number of new search terms that you didn't have within the campaign, you can really recognize how your brand is starting to grow, and that is what I really like to see, to set up different campaigns related to brand and non-brand keywords, and then when we start with YouTube or display, we can really recognize how it increases
the growth of the brand.
Definitely.
Yeah, like that's one of the common questions that we're getting as an agency, for like, why are we having brand name like in exact match type in a campaign, like one campaign with our brand name in like different variations, like if there are two words like together and like so on, like but to have like one or two keywords in exact form brand name in one campaign, like why are we doing it? Like, can you tell us why we did it?
Yeah, it is definitely because we want to find the number of searches that are related only to brand name. If we set up the phrase, I don't know, our brand plus shoes plus something else, there is a brand search term, but we want to simply divide those two because the brand, the only brand is really important in this.
Yeah, like you can like that's like the best way how to see that your marketing efforts are working and paying off. Like when you start and when you're unknown brand, nobody's going to search for you because nobody knows about you. But
that's right.
After some time, when you start investing, like, and when your brand becomes more recognizable, you're getting more impressions and you're getting more clicks. And like, who is more relevant for your brand name than you are? Like,
definitely.
Yeah. Especially if your landing page, like when we were talking about Google, when your ads, copy, and like keyword and your URL and information on the website are like containing the same word, like nobody's going to have higher quality score than you are.
Yeah, definitely, and that's why we're sometimes using the exact brand name or the brand phrase. Because we want to ensure our position in search, because competitors could use our brand as their target. So we are setting up the defense and offense campaigns definitely in order to keep our position, and sometimes we're trying to catch some other competitors' traffic with targeting their brands. So it is really great to have it. Competition campaigns are a bit expensive because
they're protecting the brand as well. Yeah.
So if you have a large number of competitors, it might be sometimes a struggle. But that is why it's important to have a website that is performing well to ensure the organic position below these ads. So how much of search engine result page you're capturing with organic and paid, it really matters because you're increasing the click-through rate in overall.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense, man. So it's I'm repeating myself, but like this like went I felt like we were talking for like 5 minutes, but it's like almost 50 minutes, and like Jana took a bit of our time as well, and like we're having a next guest in 10 minutes, so let's have a short break before we get the next guest. Our next guest is going to be Ken from Trustio, and we're going to learn more about Trustio and like what are they doing. And I'm pretty sure that everybody knows the company, but like Trustio is the fastest growing unicorn in the history of US. So like, let's see what's their secret and how they're doing it, and like how they managed to accomplish so many things in such a short period of time. Still, thank you so much
Thank you so
for
much.
all the information. Okay, guys, talk to you in
Bye.
10 minutes. Bye.